two Californians who were fed up with the Black Lives Matter narrative and BLM have been charged. Meanwhile, BLM is looting, destroying, attacking people, and committing crimes, as well as defacing public property and destroying statues. Why the double standard? Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, and today on the internet, we're going to talk about these two. Now, I find it absolutely ridiculous that these people have been charged with a hate crime. There are lots of people on the left-wing political spectrum that seem to think that if you're against BLM, you're against Black Lives. Well, that's not true. You see, Black Lives Matter doesn't even think that Black Lives Matter. It should be renamed. Other commentators have said it should be called Certain Black Lives Matter. Because what about the black life that's been lost because of the BLM riots? I have this recent tweet here. It shows you a member of BLM attacking a black Trump supporter and hitting him in the face. He's then immediately arrested. Take a look.
Don't do it right here. Hey. It's a setup, fool. Hey, don't even do it to him. Don't do it to him. Don't do it to him right there. You know they can't. Oh! What are you being detained for? What are you being detained for?
Now it can clearly show you that Black Lives Matter doesn't care about black lives. Why was this member of BLM punching a black man in the face? Just because he supported Trump? Just because he thought differently? And that's when you begin to be exposed to the true nature of BLM. They aren't really a peaceful movement. They never have been, they never will be. In 2016, BLM was declared a terror organization by the Russian government. I wonder if it's time for America to do the same. So, here's the original footage of the woman painting over BLM. Now, I want to note about this clip is that she doesn't actually do a very good job. Like, she kind of just paints over the color. So really, she just turned the B and the L black. Doesn't really accomplish anything. But when asked why they were doing this, they said, we're tired of it. We're tired of the media narrative, of the BLM narrative, and they say that they don't want their state to turn into the lawless hellscape that was Seattle. As many of you know, the autonomous zones that were set up were ridden with crime. Many people were attacked, and it was total chaos. So this brings us to the district attorney's office. Here you can see, on KCBS, breaking, the hashtag Martinez couple caught on video painting over the approved hashtag Black Lives Matter mural on the hashtag 4th of July are being charged with a hate crime, according to a release from the hashtag Contra Costa County District Attorney's Office. Now, first of all, there was nothing with that couple to indicate that they were committing a crime of hate. If Black Lives Matter protesters are allowed to paint on public property, why aren't they allowed to paint over it? I think that's a question that needs to be asked, but more importantly, when people say that they're tired of BLM, they're not saying that they're tired of Black lives. What they're saying is they're tired of a movement that uses violence to achieve their goals. And you see, BLM seems to be made of opportunists, belligerents, groups like Antifa, who have also been declared terror groups by the United States government. You know, anarchists, Marxists, socialists, communists. These are the kinds of people that make up BLM, and they're the ones who've been looting, rioting, destroying statues, destroying public property, and making everyone feel unsafe. Now, need I remind you about the people killed by BLM? There was a black retired police officer, David Dorn. I always bring him up because I believe it's important. He responded to a pawn shop, I believe, getting robbed by BLM members who were rioting, and they shot him. There's another story about an 8-year-old girl. An 8-year-old girl who was gunned down by BLM. What crime did she commit for this atrocity? Well, her family, or whoever was driving that car, took a wrong turn into a protest zone, and they were trying to leave and get out. And what did the protesters do? They shot him. They shot the car. The little girl died. I think there's a lot of people out there who need to seriously question the BLM narrative. But here we are. This is what they said in their official report. They said that today, the Contra Costa County District Attorney's Office charged Nicole Anderson, 42, and David Nelson, 53, with 3 misdemeanor counts, including a hate crime, for their alleged actions on Saturday, July 4th, when defendant Anderson covered up a Black Lives Matter mural with black paint. I find this ridiculous and frivolous. It is not a hate crime to paint over a symbol. It's actually another act of speech. You know, people are using their freedom of expression to make BLM. They're using their freedom of expression to paint over it. Now, of course, the district attorney's office is woke, and as you can expect, they say, quote, "We must address the root of byproduct of systematic racism in our country. The Black Lives Matter movement is an important civil rights cause that deserves all of our attention." BLM has blood on their hands. Why do you want me to support a movement that has led to the death of Black lives, the death of bystanders? The things that they're doing are not peaceful, and you're going to see the media continue to push that narrative. Oh, these are peaceful protests. These are peaceful people. No, they're not. They're absolutely not. I can show you countless videos of unpeaceful BLM activity. Here's another story. This is Breitbart. It says, father shot dead while walking with daughter in de Blasio's NYC. You can see the image. Probably all I can show you is the gunman pointing at the father with his daughter. And he got shot. And he passed away. So, there's countless stories like this. Countless stories of BLM attacking people, hurting people, stealing. I will not stand for it. And I am just shocked. Now, here's the part that's absolute garbage. So, the 3 charges against this couple are violation of civil rights, vandalism under 400, possessions of tools to commit vandalism, or graffiti. Okay, so three counts. What about BLM? What about the left-wing groups who are out there burning things, tearing statues down, defacing public property? Because you see this incredible double standard. The double standard of, if a left-winger does it, we're not going to arrest you. If they riot, we're not going to arrest you. If they destroy, we're not going to arrest you. You ever wonder why people are getting tired of it? These California residents had clearly had enough. Enough of the nonsense. Enough of the destruction. Enough of the chaos. We're living in a point in time where people are waking up. As long as they're actually being shown the truth, I think a lot of people are turning against groups like Antifa and groups like BLM, because fundamentally, at their core, these groups are violent and have bad intention. You don't save Black lives by ending Black lives. I'm sorry, but that's not how reality works. Now, if convicted, both of these defendants face up to a year in county jail, and they've been denied bail, I believe? The alleged offenses are exempt from a specific bail amount due to the current county bail schedule in light of COVID-19. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that means, but there you go. Probably the only good news in all of this is that people are finally waking up, at least some of them. So we've got a user here that really highlights the hypocrisy. A user 47TM says, "This is some effing BS. WTF, destroying federal property is just fine, right?" And that's the crux of this issue. How can you have people who, the only thing they did was paint over a sign, paint over some graffiti? How can you arrest them on 3 charges? Nonsensical. But you allow people to go around destroying public property. Mind you, public property paid for by the taxpayer ultimately. How? How do you allow this? So Trissa D brings up another good point. How can it be legal for the muralists to have been given a permit to paint a political slogan on the street? Does that mean that pro-life groups can also get approval to paint pro-life slogans on streets? Now, that's a very interesting point. I'm not sure what the local laws are on this, but it does feel like public property, which is paid for by everyone, you might not want to let people write biased slogans. Everyone pays for the property. It would not be equal representation. And someone has a really obvious comment here. They say, survivor of the 2020 TP shortage says, when our laws become panderers for wokeness, we are in serious trouble. Hate crime requires a victim. Last I checked, Aro doesn't have self-awareness or feelings. Mickey says, there are hundreds of separate videos of certain people, he's talking about BLM, beating the shit out of other people. Blindsiding punches, multiple assailants robbing them, stomping on their unconscious head on the ground, all while yelling racial epithets. But this is a hate crime again. Yeah. So, There you have it, folks. These people are being charged. Meanwhile, BLM continues their reign of terror all over America, and the government that's been infected with the virus of wokeness and leftism is enabling these people. Nonsense. Release these people. There's no crime here. There's no victim. Who's the victim? The road? They can just paint another one if they really want to. They didn't even remove the letters. Look, it's not the point. The point is, when you have governments that are arresting people who threw paint on the road, but not people who are tearing down and destroying public property, well, my friends, you got a serious double standard and problem on your hands. And you know what? It needs to be addressed. It needs to be fixed. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this charge. I think it's frivolous, but that's merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. How do you feel about this story? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, as always, if you want to support the work I do, you can join me on Patreon or Subscribe Store for as low as $1. Joining will give you access to a private Discord server. If you want to donate, there's Donor Box and Bitcoin. Links are down below. And lastly, sharing this video is probably the best thing you could do for the channel. I appreciate it when my viewers share my videos. Content like mine is not actively promoted. You know, because I don't drink the soy milk. You know, I don't sip those soy lattes. So, you know, YouTube isn't a big fan. You know, but share my videos if you enjoy them. I also have a merch store. Link is also in the description. You might find something that you like. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.